Yep, that's low. You want low. You want to so you can see what's going on at the base of that thunderstorm. And you start getting rotation at the base of the thunderstorm, like we're seeing tonight. There's a very strong indication that there's a rotating thunderstorm, and that's why we've had multiple tornado warnings tonight from Pasco County now into Orange County. All right, let's get in a couple of those roads right there. There's Lusk Road back towards Hooper, back towards Panoramic Circle. A lot of subdivisions here, Eric, as you know. 441, we head a little bit farther to the south now there, and east back towards south of Apopka. Again, for now, the calm before the storm, but this is going to be picking on up here as we get deeper into the evening. Eric, while this is over the lake for just a moment,
yes, sir.
Can we pull it on out again?
Absolutely.
One of the things that you have to remind yourself is that, yes, you may have one tornado warning, and obviously we have the tools here that if there were another tornado warning that, we'd watch that. But one of the things I wanted to see was what's going on with that line. We've got multiple bows here embedded within a long line of thunderstorms. Is that the Tampa? That is the
That's
Tampa
the
Bay.
Tampa
Yeah,
radar.
I could clearly see. I just saw the Tampa Bay area. But so we've got that. That's an interesting thunderstorm down towards the Winter Haven area there. Yeah, good.
I was just going to say, look at this cell right in here.
Yep.
That lets you know what's coming ashore here in the next few hours. And that's why all day we've been talking about a first warning weather day. Tony, that is why we want to make sure to convey the information, because we knew the atmosphere was going to be supercharged for this type of possibility.
And the other thing is, here's the thing. When you look at that instability, tonight the shear is very good. The instability is kind of marginal, but it just goes to show you certain events, certain characteristics win out. In this type of event with the warm front coming up from the south with that what we call helicity, which is a shear factor, spinning factor there, that tonight was a very good indicator that with a good amount of that we could get some rotation. And sure enough, it's playing out right now along and west of Apopka, back towards Wekiva. Eric, look, we got a notch here.
Yeah.
We got to watch that.
Yep.
And down to the south, you still have a bow. We still need to watch that, but that is that's an interesting characteristic.
It really is. Let me loop that for you, just so that you could see its evolution here over the last 15 minutes' time.
Yeah.
Again, it's nothing tight, but it looks like that's where the energy, the instability is. And so I would be willing to bet that as we move forward, Tony, that's going to be the area to watch.
I 100% agree. I think you need to watch the whole area, to be honest with you. I think you watch that notch. That might be the primary, but I still think you need to watch this once it comes ashore there over towards Ocoee and Winter Garden. But I tell you what, that's a pretty impressive looking notch right there. There's no doubt about that.
The good news for right now is that when we look at our debris tracker, what we're not seeing in there is any kind of debris aloft, or at least any big peaks like we had just a moment ago over US Highway 27 and 50. But again, as it comes off of Lake Apopka and makes its way into West Orange County, that could all change. So that's going to be something we'll have to watch. And just within the last few moments, look at the debris tracker, how it's kind of phased its way back up.
Yeah.
It's over water, so it's not picking up debris over water, but it's just, these are the kinds of things that you're just looking for, very subtle. And that's where education comes in, right? Because not just any Joe Blow is going to be able to pick up on these things. We have learned and studied these and case studied these things for years.
Yeah. All right. I want to go back. Yeah, you just read my mind. That's the product I want to see here. So if we loop this, Eric, and I think you said Luana was up in Apopka?
That's correct.
So we might want to check in with her if that's possible. I'm going to drop a couple of hints there to Dylan Shu and any producer that may be in the back to kind of maybe, if it's a phoner or whatever, just to kind of tell us what they're seeing there.
So broad rotation via cameras near Lake Apopka East Shore area.
That's right there.
Yep. So that makes sense. And if there is something coming ashore, it's coming ashore. Look at how this last sweep.
That's moving. That looks like it's sped up.
It sure does.
And now, again, it's over the land, so that frictional effect there is definitely having a play. Then there's the 429.
Remember, this is not storm relative, so as we're getting closer to the radar, you're not going to see as much green, is what I'm trying to say. You're going to see your red, not as much green because of the motion of the storm.
Yep, good point. Very good point right there. So again, we have cameras along the 429. We know that. We have, we've got the reporter up there that may be able to help us out, give us a better window and look in as to what's going on. There's Wekiva High School right there. Look outside, still coming down pretty. Guys, where exactly is that? So I can.
What we want is just
429.
north.
Yeah, 429 near Apopka. That's.
We want it
that's what I
right
can.
near the 414 or just north.
I don't know if we have one that far north, though, Eric. I'll let the guys in the back play around with that. It's a good call, but I just don't know that we have one way up there. The little developing notch right there. Lush Road, Panoramic Circle. We were just mentioning these here 15, 25 minutes ago. Then Johns Road. To the east, Old Dixie Highway 441. Then you started getting the downtown Apopka here and South Apopka. Again, very heavily populated. Mount Plymouth, of course, has been growing as well. So we're going to watch this area. Right now it's 8:48. You've got time to get down low. Lower is better, of course, as you guys know. And then the south side of Lake Apopka still have that weak broad rotation there that we're going to have to watch. The reflectivity product, again, showing that signature line now coming off the eastern side there of the Lake Apopka.
Our radar would be at about 800 feet here, Tony.
Wow, that's amazing. Yep, there it is. Right there, Apopka, northwest Apopka right now. Eric, the rain is coming on in. That's a very little interesting feature that's popped up just east of 414. That's the best shot along the 429 I've seen all night there, Eric, right there. 429, just to the south and west of Apopka. Right now, they're telling me. So there you go.
And there's your lightning.
Yeah, yep, right there. So something to watch. We got this warning until, you said?
It goes until 9 o'clock.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Right?
And I'm going to assume that they're going to extend that. I will ask them
Tony,
just to double check.
Yeah, see what Tony's saying. There's Wekiva, there's Lockhart, there's Forest City, Sand Lake, Wekiva Springs. There's West Road right there, Osceola. Apopka Road, and then to the south there. I think Ocoee, Eric, is probably going to be okay. They may get nicked on the north side there. If we go ahead and loop that, I think we'll get a better feel and flavor.
Let me set this for
that's moving to the east northeast. So I think Ocoee south is probably going to be okay. But
the interesting thing, Tony, is that if that area to the north took the instability, right?
Yep.
They're going to have to issue a new tornado warning sooner rather than later.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that usually it works the other way. You know, you get something to the south that robs the energy to the north, but that's not the case here. The Boeing feature here coming off the lake, pretty impressive now towards Apopka, whereas the southwest side is lagging, but we still have that hail core right over the lake.
The interesting thing, though, switch over to links if you don't mind, my friends in the back. The interesting thing is that the hail numbers have seemingly come down.
Okay.
We still have plenty of wind, but the hail numbers, the overall diameter of the hail has come down from 1 inch plus to about a ½ inch coming down to the surface.
And we were hoping to see that with the cooling influence there of those chillier lake waters, of course, this time of the year. So again, south of Apopka, you're now in it. The winds are picking on up. The showers and the storms are going to start moving on in here. Again, the wind speeds here, generally speaking, running 25 to 35 plus the forward motion. So you're looking at, 40 to 50, 55 mile an hour winds there. Now moving into Apopka, south of Apopka, from the west side of town, and then again eventually building back towards Wekiva Springs and Altamont Springs.
Let's switch back over to WSI-1.
Yeah. Yep.
So with the backside of this wind, Tony, it's moving at 25, and you've got 29 mile per hour winds. So 25 plus 30, simple math.
54. Yeah, there you go. Severe is 58. You'll give or take a few miles there, and it's borderline severe, if not certainly a little bit higher than the levels we've been describing. Still holding together, Eric. You got Boeing segment there, Boeing segment down to the south. We'll have to watch, I think, north of Ocoee. As we zoom in here on the southeast side of Lake Apopka, there's north Ocoee, West Road. This is the area where the winds are really going to start picking up here, if not already, over towards Jurgensen Drive, Clarkona Ocoee Road, back towards Fuller's Cross Road, and then eventually Hackney Prairie Road, and then eventually we get over towards Lakeland Field, and then back towards 441 there, Wekiva High School, where I think the winds are going to pick up there as we get deeper into the evening here. Let's say 20, 30 minutes from now, Eric.
Yeah, and with that said, our radar is now scanning this at about 500 feet. So again, the closer to the surface you get, the more real the data is,
That's
right?
it. There's our radar. I'm just going to point that out. This is good. You can see it. And the distance from, Eric, if you don't mind taking the distance from our radar to that wind field right there, there's, the closer you are to the radar, the lower you're shooting it at, and again, the more.
Of course, it's in kilometers.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Because why not?
So there's that there for you. Another picture there along the 429. The folks in the back again continuing to help us out and to show you the appropriate images and photos as to what's going on. Now, what you're going to notice, if Eric were to stay on this particular product, once this were to move over West 2 Studios, you would see a big cone developing. So at some point here, we are going to have to temporarily switch out from our live radar because you'll get basically what we call the cone of silence. Once this band goes overhead, the radar can't see up straight vertically. It shoots out. So that's one of the things we have to deal with as radar operators. But, there's ways to work around that. We've got the Melbourne radar. We've got the terminal Doppler radar. So you're in good hands with Eric and I. How's that looking there, Eric?
I'm not seeing anything at the moment, which is fine.
Yep.
Which is fine. And we're not getting any reports of damage at the moment, which is fine. They do not believe that they are going to re-warn on this. So as they're saying, the cell looks to be a little more linear, okay? So the rotation has weakened. They are not planning on re-adding more counties to a tornado warning. But that said, once it gets back over land, once it continues to cross the lake and come back over land, the thought is we need to observe and see what happens, because as it stumbles back over land, it could get enough spin to tighten back up. So for now,
yeah, it makes perfect sense.
We've got another 5-6 minutes under the tornado warning. Let's continue to observe this and treat it as if it was a tornado on the ground, just to be safe. So from Apopka down through Ocoee, that Winter Garden area, we need to be watching this very, very closely.
And this is also another good opportunity to let the folks in the back know that we are anticipating jumping off right at the top of the hour, so folks can enjoy some of their evening shows that they normally watch. But with the caveat, again, being said, that if indeed this does once again pulse back up like we've seen it do on occasion, we'll jump right back in and give you the most accurate and important information you need to keep you and your family safe. We'll give you that first warning that you need. There's Apopka, there's Winter Garden, there's Lockhart, moving off towards now the east there at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So Wekiva Springs, it's moving in 9:06 here, just about 10 minutes from now. Lockhart, right around 9:14. Of course, 9:19 would be the Longwood. Winter Park would be right at about 9:30. Eric, I don't know if our Orlando cams are pointed towards the west, but if you can get a moment there to maybe shoot some of the cams that we have to kind of work off on the western side of Orange County here, we might be able to pick something up with a couple of our weather cams, and you can see what's going on. There's that line of storms. There's, again, look outside. A little bit of lightning there. Not sure if you saw that there. That is looking west towards Lake County.
That would be showing anything that we're looking for.
Yeah, right. I don't know if you saw it when you first flicked it over. There was a little bit of lightning, and then now you lost your picture. I think. What about? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Another lightning strike. So again, we'll watch this. We could look at this on the side there. But going back to that radar right now, again, the key for us here is what's been happening over the lake, and we've been watching that for the time being. There's been a downtick. A little bit for the time being with the instability here. Still coming down pretty good. A lot of wind, a lot of rain over towards Apopka, and then over towards Ocoee. That looks like the worst of it is going to stay just to your north. A big core of stronger winds there approaching Apopka. A lot of lightning there along the 429 as we're popping in now a couple of those camps. And Eric, before we do jump on off, I want to get the rest of the full weather picture in, not just right here, because we know this warning is likely to expire. But again, plenty of other storms. If we go down towards Winter Haven right there,
100%.
Yeah, I want to see that. That's a very intriguing little thunderstorm there. Right over Winter Haven, Haines City, heading up towards Davenport, Celebration, and Kissimmee.
That's our velocity there.
Yep, that's going to say that. Yep, so you got a little little bit of mild, broad, weak rotation there, I think, upstairs. Again, it's pretty far away, though, Eric,
Right.
as you know. So it's a little bit hard to determine what's really going on until you get it moving for a greater distance. But off to the west of here, let's go back to the Tampa Bay radar. He'll switch it on over. And again, multiple lines of storms here. They're going to race across from the west to the east. First hitting Interstate 75 here, we think. Right around 10:30, 11, and then moving towards the downtown area between about midnight and about 1 a.m. Eric is singling out a couple of notches here on some of those bows on the velocity product coming out of the Tampa Bay area. That's pretty close. So there's the high likelihood of some solid ground truth of what's going on with it being that close to the radar. The base velocity product also showed a nice line of storms. But getting back to Apopka, getting back towards Ocoee, the 441, 414, 429 corridor, that three-triangle area right there. Eric, that little ball of energy there is again trying to make a comeback, so we'll have to watch that.
So they plan to let the warning expire. They're going to replace it with a significant weather advisory mentioning funnel clouds and mentioning wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour.
Okay.
So it's borderline severe.
Yep.
You know what it is? What they're doing is they're saying it has weakened.
Stand by.
It's not done.
Yep.
It's weakened
Yep.
to the point where we're not concerned about an imminent tornado, but we are concerned with the cells still, and thus everybody needs to be paying attention on that east side of Lake Apopka.
Yeah, I agree. It's just one of the ways that they interpret the radar and what they're thinking. The logic makes perfect sense to me. But again, little ball of energy right there that we'll have to watch. What does the velocity product look in this particular area?
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very subtle. Let me
Can you
switch
loop
over.
that?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
see something.
I want to give you 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
15 minutes worth.
Okay.
And you can kind of get an idea. Let me slow it down.
You got 50 seconds to 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Give me your best work.
So that, thank you. That's what you got. You can see that rotation is still there, but it is subtle in nature.
Right. Okay.
We're also sampling this at like 400 feet.
Wow, that's phenomenal. It's so nice to have your own radar, your own technology, be able to do these things. All right. The reflectivity product one more time. Ooh.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's.
Loop that.
Yep.
Let's go and loop that. Let's take a look at this.
Give me 15 minutes.
You got 19 seconds. There we go. All right. Yeah. It's hanging on.
It's trying to get a little more of an inflow in there.
Yep.